is Tecumsah, one of the most famous names in the legends of Annapolis. Through the years, Tecumsah has become the god of the passing mark in examinations, 2.5. And generations of midshipmen continue the legend, tossing pennies in tribute for his blessing, and a left-handed salute to confirm the deal.
Tecumsah! Tecumsah! Oh, Mr. McGuire, this is my mother. Mom, this is Mr. McGuire, the first classman who looks after me.
Sure nice to meet you, ma'am. Ernie's been doing a lot of talking about you.
Well, we've been doing a lot of talking about you. Ernie says he doubts if he could have gotten this far in his slave year without your guidance.
Well, we help each other, ma'am.
Hey, Tecumsah!
Oh, would you excuse me, please? Nice to have you with us.
Peggy, I'd like to have you meet my roommate. This is Tecumsah McGuire, Miss Peggy Miles.
Hello, Tecumsah.
You know, he got me through thermodynamics. Almost killed me doing it.
Joe told me all about you last night. In his sleep.
Not all, I hope. What did he say?
He's kidding. Look, Tecumsah, could I get a shot of you with him? You know, my kid brother doesn't believe me. I gotta send him a picture.
Sure. This is my best side. His, too. You know, I'll never understand how a guy can run 90 yards to make a touchdown and still not be able to put on his own uniform.
Thanks, Tecumsah. You know, someday I'm going to do the same thing for you.
Well, you just keep scoring the points. I'll keep scrimmaging for you fellas.
Okay.
Say, what am I bothering with a face mask for?
You can say that again. What's the matter with you?
You know, sometimes it gets kind of tough to get air up here.
You ought to let the doctor check it.
Well, I already did. He said I got a deviated septum or something.
Well, what's he going to do about it?
I got to report to the hospital Monday.
Hey, Tecumseh! I've been looking all over for you.
Well, what is it, Joanne? I got a couple of minutes.
Well, Peggy's got a girlfriend visiting her from Iowa or Nebraska or someplace.
Oh, yeah?
Well, Peggy was thinking that you might drag her.
No, Joe. You thank Peggy for me, though, huh?
Oh, look, Tecumseh, as a favor to me, I promised Peggy.
You got 3,600 mids here.
Oh, but you're the one Peggy wants.
I'd like to help you and Peggy out. It's not fair to any girl to saddle him with me.
Tecumseh, aren't you ever gonna drag?
Sure. One of these days, I figure I'll run into a girl like me. You know, just so-so. Somebody who's not looking for any handsome guy like I'm not looking for any knockouts.
Look, Tecumseh, I'll come clean. I told Peggy that you'd do it. Oh, now, Tecumseh, please.
Oh, okay, Joe. Just this once. What's her name?
Madge. I don't know her last name.
Madge, huh? Oh, the name like Madge. Look, on one condition. You gotta tell Peggy to brief her on what to expect, huh?
And welcome. Madge will be down in a minute. She had to go back up to put on her face. You know how girls are.
I'll know.
Let me take your hat. Well, she decided to change her dress, so naturally her lipstick didn't match.
Naturally.
Madge? Madge, Tecumseh's here. I appreciate your doing this, Tecumseh. I wouldn't want just any mid to drag her.
Well, I'm sure.
With Madge's looks and all. What I mean is, well, some men might get the wrong impression. She doesn't know a thing, Navy, but nothing.
Well, I'll try to indoctrinate her properly.
Well, now, don't get me wrong. Madge isn't naive. Well, she isn't naive a bit. I wonder what's keeping her.
Well, maybe she saw me coming up the walk and changed her mind.
Well, thank goodness. Miss Peterson, may I present Mr. McGuire, better known as Tecumseh.
Miss Peterson?
The name is Madge. Hello.
Hello. Well, I guess we can shove off now, unless you've decided to alter course.
It's beautiful. Simply beautiful.
First time I saw it, I could hardly believe it. I never saw a place so green.
Where are you from?
Desert, Arizona. Big, tall, bare-faced mountains that change every crazy color in the rainbow. Plants with thorns instead of leaves. Animals with tough, hard crusts. Everything kind of thirsty.
Peggy tells me you're an artist.
Oh, I've drawn ever since I could sit up and hang on to a saddle horn.
And that you're on the staff of the Academy magazine.
The log. Yeah, they use my stuff sometimes. First sketch I ever did was one of me looking up at old Tecumseh. The log published it, and the brigade couldn't tell us apart. That's how I got my nickname.
Tecumseh.
Yeah.
Known as the god of the 2.5, the passing mark in examinations. The tradition said that if you give him a left-handed salute and throw a penny at him, your luck will hold.
As soon as the brigade found out we looked alike, they started throwing pennies at me, too. Well, I went along with the gag, and I've been stuck with the gag ever since. That dome there's the chapel. Site of one of my saddest moments.
The chapel?
Yeah, I dozed off there once during the good chaplain's sermon. Swallowed a fly.
Oh.
Darn near broke up the service. You know, Plebe becomes a full-fledged youngster when he sights that dome on returning from his first cruise. It's, without doubt, the most beautiful thing in the yard. Her, cornerstone was laid, 21 years ago, I guess.
The cornerstone, quote, was laid June 3rd, 1903 by Admiral George Dewey. Under the main chapel in the crypt lies the body of John Paul Jones, father of the United States Navy. I've been boning up.
You sure have. I still can't believe it.
Believe what?
That you're real.
Well, I am.
When anyone asks me to drag a girl, it's usually the last resort.
Young lady willingly escorted.
Wait till the Navy finds out about you.
I was hoping the Navy already had found out.
That's Herndon Monument over there. I rammed into it once broadside.
How did you run into anything that big?
Well, it was difficult, but I managed it. Got a black eye, too.
Oh.
Honest. The captain elected to go down with the ship on September 12th, 1857. Say, do you like to dance?
Yes.
You know, I know just the midshipman for you, Pete Elliott. You two would really hit it all. He's tall, terrific dancer.
Thank you very much, Mr. McGuire. But I already have a date for this evening with a guy with a nose. And already he's sticking it into my affairs.
Well, I had to outmaneuver the whole Navy tonight.
It certainly took you a long time to get your strategy going. I had exactly one dance with you.
Oh, you don't know how lucky you were. Say, isn't that Pete Elliott a swell dancer?
You'd better get going. You'll be late.
Oh, there's plenty of time. Madge,
Yes?
thanks for letting me drag you. It's the most wonderful thing that ever happened to me.
Me too, Tecumseh. But I don't suppose you'll believe that. You know what's the matter with you?
What?
You're afraid of your nose.
Hey, sick bay called. Don't forget your appointment, 1100 tomorrow at the hospital.
Okay, thanks, Joe.
Midshipman Carter, sir, asked Tecumseh's blessing in terrestrial, celestial, and electronic navigation, the Earth's magnetism and compensation for its effects, tides, and currents.
Midshipman Carter has Tecumseh's blessing.
Midshipman Carter, sir, prayerfully hopes Tecumseh's blessing will carry more powerful medicine than it did at the last quiz.
What they expect for a penny. Well, I'll go along with the gag. A few more weeks, I'll have enough to buy the Navy juniors their new football, huh?
And Peggy was wondering if you're going to ask Madge down for the hop this weekend.
Oh, I'd sure like to, but...
But what?
Oh, the fellows gave her such a rush last time, she's probably got a dozen bids by now.
Well, according to Peggy, Madge expects you to drag her.
Now, what kind of a snow job you handed me?
It's true.
Well, I'd like to believe you, Joe, but well, I've been burned too many times.
You like her, don't you?
There's so much, I don't know if I could take it if...
I'm telling you, you're home.
You really think Madge wants me to drag her?
Well, now, how do you ever expect to find out unless you ask her?
You're right.
So, I've been thinking if you don't have anything else to do. What I mean is if you don't have any other bids.
I've already told you, Tecumseh, I haven't any other bids.
Well, then you'll go with me?
If you'll stop apologizing and let me explain.
Well, you don't want to go.
It's not that I don't want to go. I can't. My aunt is sick and there's no one to take care of her. I'm sorry, Tecumseh, but you do understand, don't you?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, well, thanks for listening. Sick aunt. How corny can you get?
Tecumseh?
Hello, Madge.
Oh, Joe, I'm so glad you called. Tecumseh just hung up.
Look, Madge, you did me a favor once and went out with him. Well, now, please, do me another favor and go out with Tecumseh again. I'll call you back. Hey, Tecumseh.
Oh, stow it.
Well, let me explain.
Well, you just did explain. I heard the conversation. Well, thanks for trying anyway. Just for luck. Oh, I've had this nose as long as I can remember, sir. I broke it when I was a kid.
Well, you understand if I do a thorough job of correcting your nose, I may have to alter the structure of it.
Well, I think any alteration might be for the better, sir.
What'd he say?
Well, he said he wants you there.
You know, I'm going to miss that nose. And I'll bet Tecumseh does, too. You can't look one way for 22 years and then suddenly change without it doing something to you.
I could have taken these bandages off a week ago, but I wanted to wait and see if this swelling would come down. There.
Is it all right?
Wow. Take a look for yourself, Mr. McGuire. Satisfactory? It's good for breathing, too.
I wouldn't have recognized you. Well, nobody would. Well, you've changed, Tecumseh. Or maybe I should start calling you George. He looks just like any of us.
Don't look so serious, Mr. McGuire. Smile. I changed your nose, not your personality.
Maybe I ought to do something about that. You're on your own now, pal. Ernie. Ernie, don't you know me?
Honest, Tecumseh, or I mean, Mr. McGuire, I didn't recognize you.
How do you like it?
Well, it's all right, I guess. Be seeing you.
Missed your practice, George. Where have you been?
Oh, busy. I've been trying out for the new play.
Yeah, well, you still got time to make practice.
Oh, what's the use? I never get in the game anyway. Why waste the time?
You never felt that way before.
Everybody's telling me the way I was before. I tell you what, Al, I'll try to get by practice tomorrow, huh?
Yeah, I'll be seeing you.
Well, what do you expect? Well, they never knew I was around anyway.
Well, they did once. You gonna help me with my seamanship?
Sure, I promised to, didn't I?
George, you've got to help me out. My drag has a girlfriend, supposed to be real cute. They're waiting at Carville Hall. Will you drag her?
Sure, be glad to. Always happy to help a fellow mid. I'll meet you gate 2 in about 15 minutes, okay?
Thanks, George.
Well, you don't care, do you, Joe? Maybe you can get somebody else to help you with that seamanship, huh?
Well, that's all right, George. I'll manage. Thanks anyway.
I should have called you before. I wanted to, Madge, but, well, something,
Was there something female?
No.
Remember how much fun we had here on our first date?
I guess you must have thought I was pretty juvenile,
Juvenile?
telling you all my escapades. You know, it's amazing how different things are with this fixed. I see things so differently.
Yes, Tecumseh. You do. Me, I like to go back and pick up memories.
I guess some people do. You are going to hop with me Saturday, aren't you?
You didn't ask me. Possibly I've made other plans.
What's his name?
Pete Elliott?
That guy.
You pushed him on me once, remember? Told me he was the greatest dancer in the whole brigade.
Oh, okay, so he can dance. He's not for you, Madge.
And you are?
Ooh, wait till you see my rumba. Peggy tell you I've been taking lessons.
I thought you navigated a pretty good course as it was.
I was terrible. You ought to see me now.
That's nice. The chapel. I almost fell asleep there once during the good chaplain's sermon and swallowed a fly.
Silly story, wasn't it? I must have been pretty dull. That's what I meant, Madge, when I said how different things are now.
Like with you and Joe Wilson?
What did Peggy tell you?
Nothing much, just that you and Joe weren't getting along.
That guy doesn't understand me. Never did, I guess. I just never saw it before.
There were a lot of things you didn't see.
What do you mean?
I fell in love up here with a fellow once. He didn't think he was much, but he was the greatest. He talked about his friends as if he loved them. To be honest, he wasn't much of a dancer. But it made me feel warm and good to be near him. He didn't try to charm me, he didn't push, he didn't try to tell me how important he was. He was just a fellow.
Madge.
Goodbye, Tecumseh. I'll always remember that fellow who looked something like you.
Madge. George! How'd the seamanship exam go?
All right, I guess. Where are you going?
Rehearsal, I got the part. He said I was great.
Congratulations.
Well, thanks. I'll see you later.
George, I want to talk.
Can it wait?
Well, no, it can't. What's with you these days?
What do you mean, what's with me? What's with you? As a matter of fact, what's the matter with everybody?
Everybody looks all right to me. You're the one that's different.
I'm just like everybody else now.
I guess you used to be the most popular guy in the brigade. You know why?
Well, I never knew that. I never even thought about it.
Well, that's why. You were never trying to prove anything. You were just you, take it or leave it. And everybody took it and liked it. You were something special.
I didn't know that a big smashed-up nose was such an asset.
A smashed-up nose isn't an asset. The important thing is that it wasn't a handicap. That's why we could all kid you about it without hurting your feelings. Your nose may have been big, but you were bigger. And the nice part is that you didn't even know how big. Everybody else did.
But Joe, I honestly wanted to be like everybody else.
You were outnumbered, George. We all wanted to be like you.
Hey, 88, a two.
Okay, George, go in there for number 74.
Hey. Let's go. Eagle, Heat, 55, a two. Let's go. Back up on your feet, Mark. Hey! Go up there. X, 88, a two.
Tough luck, George. Your nose. Take him over to sick bay, boys.
We can straighten it out without too much trouble.
Will the breathing be all right?
Oh, that's all right now. The septum wasn't damaged. We'll straighten that nose easily.
Well, sir, since the nose is only good for smelling and breathing, I think I'll leave it the way it is. It'll be more comfortable that way.
Well, that's up to you.
Glad to be back, pal. Say, did I ever tell you about the time I dozed off in chapel and swallowed a fly?
Tecumseh was played by Carlton Carpenter. Madge was played by Audrey Dalton. Joe was played by Robert Arthur.